Hello friends, my name is Ram. So today we shall discuss about topic the destructor concept in object-oriented programming. Friend, today's topic is very interesting, especially if you have interest in programming and you want to learn about it. So let's start, friend. First of all, I will request to please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell option as well, so that my videos can reach to you, and also you can follow me on the Facebook page as well. Friend, destructor is basically a special member function in a class that is responsible for releasing and cleaning up the resources allocated by an object. Friend, we know that a class is basically consists of two things: the attributes and then the member functions. So each class is consist of two things. So one of the function basically performed in a class is the destructor. The primary purpose of a destructor is to perform tasks such as releasing memory, closing files, releasing other external resources when an object is no longer is in use or is about to go out of a scope. uh, when an object is created of a class, the constructor first executed, so that the memory resources can be allocated, or other things like the attributes can be set, or state of an object can be set. However, if the object of a class is no longer needed or no longer in process, so the destructor will automatically call to release the memory. So here is the syntax of the destructor. In C++, the destructor has the same name as the class name, but it is preceded by the tilde. The syntax for a destructor looks like this. This is the destructor. Here remember that the class name and the destructor should be same, like the tilde, class name, open bracket, close bracket, and then this bracket, and then close this bracket. So this is the syntax of a destructor. Here, friend, we have to remember one thing: the destructors are automatically invoked when an object goes out of a scope or is explicitly deleted. Okay, like this makes them useful for managing resources that needs to be released when an object is no longer needed. So here remember one thing, that you don't need to explicitly execute the destructor. It will automatically execute when an object is no longer needed. There is no destructor do not have any return type. Okay, like you don't need to return, because it will just release the memory. So you don't need to provide any return type here, and they do not take any parameter as well. Okay, they called automatically by the system, and you don't need explicitly call them like regular member functions. Order of invocation: if an object is part of a large data structure like an array or a container, the destructors are called in the reverse order. That means the last object created is the first to have its destructor called. That is normally called as LIFO, last in first out. That means the last object created is the first to have its destructor called. Resource cleanup: destructors are commonly used to release resources acquired by the object during its lifetime, such as freeing dynamically allocated memory or closing file. Uh, let me give you an example here. For example, this is the class, my class, public. Okay, so that it can be accessed outside. Constructor: this is the constructor, my class. Again, remember that the constructor name should be same of the name of class. This is the constructor, and then with the tilde you can notice this is the my class, this is the destructor. Okay, so this is the constructor. Again, both constructor and the destructor both have the same name of the class. Here remember one thing, that the destructor will not have any return type, and it will not take any parameter as well. Virtual destructors. Friend, in a class hierarchy where polymorphism is used, it's good practice to declare the destructor as virtual in the base class. This ensures that the correct destructor is called when deleting an object through a pointer to the base class. Now what is the concept here? They see, this is the base class, this is the concept of the inheritance here. Inheritance means that this is the base class or parent class. We define it public, then virtual tilde base. So this is the destructor of the base class. So that is why we mention it with the with the virtual. This is the derived class, that means inherited class from the public base class. Okay, this is the child class, or you can say the subclass. It has also a destructor with a tilde derived. Okay, here remember that if you want to call a destructor of the base class, you can call it with the virtual, and if the this derived will automatically called. So it is normally used whenever we are using the hierarchy of inheritance. Inheritance means that parent child relationship, or you can say the base class and the subclass concept. So normally we used virtual in the base class, so that it's good practice to declare the destructor as virtual in the base class. This ensures that the correct destructor is called when deleting an object through a pointer to the base class. Okay, normal, if you want to call the destructor of the base class, you can mention the virtual in the base class here as well, so that there should not be any confusion that which destructor you want to call actually. Another example of a source code here, like we have a class simple class. Okay, then public, that so that the it can be accessed from outside. Then simple class, this is the constructor std count cout constructor called. Okay, so this is the constructor, same name, constructor has the same name as the class name. Then this is the destructor with a tilde simple class, and then destructor called. Okay, so this is the constructor and this is the destructor. Now int main, this is the main class to call simple class obj. We have created an object of the of this class. So here remember, when you created an object of this class, the constructor, this constructor will automatically call. So you don't need to call obj dot simple class. It will automatically created, it will automatically executed when you created the object. After, once the obj object, this obj goes out of a scope and the destructor is automatically called, return 0, destructor called. So once, basically friend, it is not necessary the object out of a scope, this destructor will automatically get called. Here remember one thing, that again you don't need to call the destructor automatically. You don't need to call the destructor manually, like in a code. It will automatically call when the object goes out of a scope. So this is basically the concept. Here remember, you don't need to call the constructor manually, explicitly in the code that you want to call the constructor. Another, similarly, when the object goes out of a scope, you don't need to call manually this destructor manually to release the memory. Okay, so again this is the concept of the destructor here. Friend, in summary, basically a destructor is an essential concept in object oriented programming for cleaning up resources, releasing the memory associated with objects. It ensures that memory is released and other cleanup operations are performed when an object is no longer needed. However, you must have to define the destructor in the code, especially in the C++ programming. It is necessary, contributing to the overall reliability and efficiency of a program. So it's a good practice always to define a destructor in a source code. So friend, thank you, thanks a lot for watching the video. I hope you like this video. If you like it, please share it with your friends and colleagues, and thanks for watching the video.